Ladies and gentlemen, we got a trial date. Donald J. Trump will be going to federal trial, according to a federal judge. Let's get into the weeds here. A federal judge in Florida has scheduled a trial date for next May for former President Donald Trump in a case charging him with illegally retaining hundreds of classified documents. Now remember, the allegation against Donald Trump for this particular case is about his mishandling of classified information. Recent information has come forward that highlights the reality of his obstruction, intentional hiding of classified documents after he was served a subpoena by a federal grand jury. Those are citizens of the country saying turn them over. There's more. The May 20th, 2024 trial date set Friday by U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon is a compromise between a request from prosecutors to set the trial date for this December, trying to give us an early Christmas present, and a bid by defense lawyers to put it off indefinitely until sometime after the 2024 presidential election. Okay, so let me say this. People are saying, well, wait a minute, this seems really political. Why would they go after a guy during a political campaign? They need to wait until the political campaign is over. Let me submit something to you. Are they, I'm talking about the federal government, trying to stop him from becoming president? Hell yeah, absolutely. Are they calculating the date of the presidential election? Yes, they'll never admit it, but they are. Why? Because if you actually believe that Donald Trump is a criminal and corrupt and mishandled classified information and more, why would you not, as a prosecutor, want to stop that individual from becoming more powerful than he is now? It's done all the time. Look at major CEOs who had their prosecutions fast-tracked because of their position of public trust and the necessity to have them isolated or neutralized to stop the corrupt activity. So it's not an abnormal dynamic when you're dealing with corruption and a person seeking to obtain a position or more power of public trust. There's more. If the date holds, it would follow close on the heels of a separate New York trial for Trump on dozens of state charges of falsifying business records in connection with an alleged hush money payment to an adult actor. It also means the trial would not start until deep into the presidential nominating calendar and probably well after the Republican nominee is clear. Though before that person is officially nominated at the Republican National Convention. Now, what in the hell does that mean? That means you are likely headed into a scenario where Donald Trump technically can have enough delegates to secure the Republican primary victory. However, if he's on trial or even convicted in the period of time in between, the Republican National Committee, because they are a private company with a board of directors, they have the authority, maybe not the will currently or the political might currently, but they do have the authority to basically say no to the nominee and do what's called a brokered convention and allow another individual on the Republican primary ticket to become the champion of their party. There's more. In pushing back the trial from the December 11th start date that the DOJ wanted, Cannon wrote, quote, "The government's proposed schedule is atypically accelerated and inconsistent with ensuring a fair trial." She agreed with defense lawyers that the amount of evidence that would need to be sifted through before the trial, including classified information, was voluminous and likely to increase the normal course as trial approaches. The court finds that the interest of justice served by this continuance outweigh the best interests of the public and defendants in a speedy trial. Cannon wrote, you got two happening virtually at the same time, according to this particular trajectory of events. You have the Manhattan case, and then you will have the federal case. Fulton County, Georgia, they are about to indict Donald Trump. You can take that to the bank. Barricades were erected yesterday in Fulton County. I expect the indictment of Donald Trump to happen within roughly 10, 15 days maximum from Fulton County. And I still expect there to be an indictment, criminal indictment, by the state of New York very soon. And you have obviously the second DOJ indictment dealing with Trump and his, election interference pattern, which correlates back to the Fulton County investigation as well. Wow. Wos, you see the tea leaves, dear brother. What are your thoughts?
Donald Trump has a lot of problems right now, Dr. Richey. It almost makes you wonder why he's not pleading out this DOJ case. Like, it's obvious they sort of have him dead to rights on, sort of hoarding those classified documents. Like, they just got you when the prosecutor says that the information that they're sifting through to get you on the hook is voluminous. You got problems, brother. Yeah. Like, I think he should have been tried to plead this out. I think they would have been more than happy with the conviction that ultimately ended up in a slap on the wrist. But Donald Trump is being defiant in this, and he's gonna fight. And I think Georgia is where he has the most issues, because they got this man on the phone literally telling people to do stuff that interferes with the election. Like, he has got major issues. And the sad truth in all of this, Dr. Richey, is like, you would think that all of these problems would make it so that people would be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't vote to nominate this guy for the third time to be the candidate in the Republican Party. But this is our democracy, right? This is democracy at work. This is the people getting what they want, particularly on the right side of things. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how the Fulton County one shapes out, because I agree with you. I think you have a more direct link to criminality with that case because Trump is on the phone. Trump is obviously clearly violating the state statute, as I've read the state statute, and he has corroborating witnesses against him, being Republicans who are elected, who have already testified before a special purpose grand jury. So once again, I think that indictment is coming in the next few days.